Have you ever wondered why thoughts about sex seem to appear out of nowhere? You're working, exercising, or trying to focus, and suddenly, your brain decides to run a completely different program. That's not random. It's one of the most powerful biological drives in human evolution. Hello, beautiful thinkers. Our episode today is Why Humans Think About Sex So Much, the Real Science. Let's dive in. Chapter 1, The Biological Imperative. Human brains evolved for two fundamental goals: survival and reproduction. Sexual thoughts are driven primarily by dopamine circuits. First is hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is a small control center deep in the brain that regulates fundamental human drives like hunger, hormones, stress, and sexual behavior. Second is the limbic system, which is the emotional core of the brains, the place where feelings, memories, desire, and survival instincts are born. Dopamine reward pathways. The dopamine reward pathways are the brain circuits that create motivation, anticipation, craving, learning, and reinforcement. They don't just make you feel good. They make you want things. These pathways shape habits, addictions, goals, pleasure, and even your sense of purpose. Modern neuroscience insights similar to work discussed by Andrew Huberman. Huberman explains that dopamine peaks during anticipation, not during the reward itself. This is why planning a vacation feels better than the vacation. The build-up to intimacy feels more electric than the act. The chase feels more addictive than the reward. The brain is wired to value the pursuit. Sexual stimuli activate the same reward pathways as food, social validation, addictive substances. This is why sexual thoughts are persistent. Chapter 2, Evolution Strategy. From an evolutionary perspective, individuals who were more motivated to reproduce passed on their genes. Over tens of thousands of years, this created a brain wired for attraction, fantasy, sexual curiosity. Your brain doesn't care about modern distractions like email, deadlines, LinkedIn posts about productivity. It still runs software designed for prehistoric survival and reproduction. Chapter 3, The Role of Hormones. Hormones strongly influence sexual thought frequency. Important hormones include testosterone, estrogen, dopamine, oxytocin. Testosterone in particular increases sexual motivation, competitive behavior. Here's 5 simple, practical, science-backed daily habits that support hormonal balance for women. 5 simple and practical daily habits to support hormonal balance. 1. A slow morning start. Cortisol regulation. Why it works. Your cortisol naturally peaks in the morning. When you wake up and immediately rush, scroll, or stress, you spike it even higher, which can disrupt energy, mood, and appetite all day. Simple habit. Spend the first 5 minutes of your morning in stillness. Sit up slowly. Breathe deeply. Let light hit your eyes. Avoid your phone. This signals safety to your nervous system and helps regulate cortisol's natural rhythm. 2. Eat a protein-rich breakfast. Blood sugar stability. Why it works. Stable blood sugar equals stable hormones. Protein in the morning helps prevent the glucose spikes that trigger cortisol, cravings, irritability, and hormonal swings. Simple habit. Aim for 20 to 30 grams of protein at breakfast. Examples: eggs, Greek yogurt, tofu scramble, cottage cheese, or a protein smoothie. This supports insulin balance, one of the most important hormonal foundations for women. 3. A 10-minute walk after meals. Insulin and mood support. Why it works. Light movement after eating helps your muscles absorb glucose, reducing insulin spikes and supporting metabolic health. Simple habit. Take a 10-minute walk after lunch or dinner. It's gentle, grounding, and incredibly effective for hormonal stability. 4. A daily nervous system reset, stress hormone balance. Why it works. Chronic stress disrupts cortisol, thyroid hormones, estrogen, and progesterone. A daily micro reset helps your body shift out of survival mode. Simple habit. Choose one 60-second reset. 4 to 6 breathing. Legs up the wall. A warm shower. Pause. A quiet minute with your hand on your heart. This calms the limbic system and supports hormonal harmony. 5. A consistent sleep ritual, melatonin and repair hormones. Why it works. Sleep is when your body repairs, detoxifies, and regulates hormones like melatonin growth, hormone cortisol, and reproductive hormones. Simple habit. Create a 20-minute wind-down ritual. Dim lights. Stretch. Herbal tea. No screens. Light journaling. Consistency matters more than perfection. In one beautiful sentence. Hormones thrive on rhythm, small daily habits that create safety, stability, and nourishment for your body. Chapter 4. The brain's reward system. Sexual thoughts activate anticipatory reward pathways. Anticipatory reward pathways are the dopamine circuits that fire when you expect something good, driving motivation, desire, and the thrill of possibility. The brain releases dopamine before the reward occurs. This mechanism increases motivation, reinforces behavior, strengthens memory, which is why the brain keeps returning to the same theme. Chapter 5. Ancient philosophy on desire. The Stoics were deeply aware of human impulses. Epictetus taught that desire itself is not the problem. The problem is lack of mastery over desire. Seneca warned that uncontrolled impulses weaken discipline. Stoic philosophy teaches 3 responses to impulses: awareness, pause, rational control. This is essentially an early form of cognitive behavioral psychology. Chapter 6. Biblical wisdom. Ancient scripture also recognized the power of human desire. In the Bible, self-control is considered a core virtue. For example, the book of Proverbs repeatedly warns about impulsive desires leading to poor decisions. The message is not suppression of human nature, but discipline and wisdom. David and Bathsheba, the power of lust. 2 Samuel 11. This is one of the most famous biblical examples of lust leading to destructive choices. King David sees Bathsheba bathing and becomes overwhelmed by desire. Instead of turning away, he acts on the impulse, which leads to a chain of consequences. Deception, abuse of power, and deep personal regret. Why it matters. This story shows how uncontrolled desire can cloud judgment, distort morality, and harm others. It's a powerful reminder that lust is not just a feeling, it's a force that can take over when the mind is unguarded. Jesus on lust in the heart. Matthew 5:27-28. In the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus addresses the inner world of desire. Jesus teaches that lust begins in the heart, not in the physical act. He explains that the internal intention, the gaze, the fantasy, the desire, is where the real battle is fought. Why it matters. This passage reframes lust as an internal spiritual and psychological issue, not just a behavioral one. It highlights the importance of self-awareness, inner discipline, and guarding the mind. Why these passages are so relevant today. Both scriptures reveal timeless truths. Desire is human. Lust is powerful. The mind is the battlefield. Unchecked impulses can lead to harm. Wisdom requires self-control and awareness. Chapter 7. The High Performance Perspective. Highly successful individuals develop impulse regulation. Why? Because the same brain circuits that drive sexual impulses also drive distraction, compulsive behavior, short-term gratification. Learning to regulate impulses improves focus, discipline, decision-making. This is part of mental training for elite performers. Chapter 8. Practical discipline strategies. 3 methods used by high performers. 1. Awareness training. Notice impulses without immediately reacting. This builds cognitive control. 2. Energy channeling. Direct mental and physical energy into productive outlets. Exercise, creative work, building businesses, solving problems. 3. Environmental design. Reduce unnecessary triggers. Your environment shapes your attention. Funny example. If your daily discipline strategy includes scrolling social media at midnight while claiming you're just checking messages, your brain is basically being trained like a Labrador retriever chasing tennis balls. By now you can see that thinking about sex is not some strange flaw in the human mind. It is the result of millions of years of biological programming. Deep in the brain, structures like the hypothalamus and the limbic system are constantly working to ensure one thing above all else: survival and reproduction. Your brain is simply doing what evolution designed it to do. But here is where humans become unique. Unlike every other creature on Earth, we also possess a powerful capacity for self-awareness and self-mastery. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." And that insight is incredibly modern, because while impulses arise automatically from deeper parts of the brain, the higher regions of the mind, particularly the prefrontal cortex, allow us to pause, reflect, and choose our actions wisely. In other words, desire may be ancient, but wisdom is a choice. Ancient scripture echoes this same principle. In the Bible, self-control is repeatedly described as one of the defining traits of a mature and disciplined life. Not because desire is evil, but because uncontrolled desire can easily become distraction. And distraction is the enemy of clarity, purpose, and meaningful achievement. So the real question isn't why humans think about sex so much. The real question is, what do you choose to do with the impulses that arise in your mind? Do they control your attention? Or do you learn to control your attention? Because the same mind capable of distraction is also capable of discipline, creativity, leadership, and profound purpose. And when those forces are aligned, something powerful happens. You stop reacting to every impulse, and you begin directing your life intentionally. That is the difference between simply living and living wisely. The human brain is capable of incredible intelligence and also some very persistent distractions. What are your thoughts on why the mind gravitates towards sex so often? Share your thoughts below. Thank you for stopping by our thinking lab, where we just don't glow from the inside and out, but we grow beautifully. Until next time, stay grounded, stay healthy, stay powerful, stay beautiful.